Eric Stone drove it when he wasn't flexing his muscles on the Samuelson's balcony in his tennis shorts. The man set the gas can on the hood of the Mercedes and undid the cap. He screwed a spout onto the can. He poured gasoline over the car's hood, over the convertible roof, onto the trunk. Mr. Chang said, "What the hell?" The man shook gasoline onto the car doors. He stooped by the tires and poured gas over them. He took his time. "Take pictures," Mr. Chang sputtered. I left my camera on the counter. The man splashed the rest of the gasoline under the Mercedes, then stepped back to appraise his work. He touched the fabric convertible roof with the lighter and leaped away. The car burst into flames. Thick black smoke fingered into the air. The convertible top flared and fell into the interior. The man with the gas can watched the fire, then pulled a cell phone from his pocket, dialed, and talked into it. When he hung up, he walked slowly away. The empty gas can dangled in his fingers. The car made a hollow popping sound, and the windshield fell into the front seat. Mr. Chang glared. "Why don't you take pictures?" I looked him up and down. That was the husband, my client. Mr. Chang stared at me with blank eyes and nodded, then returned to the kitchen and called 911. He told the operator that a car was burning and gave the street address. When he hung up, he came back and sat on the stool next to mine. "You like the egg foo young?" he asked. "Best egg foo young I ever ate," I said. "Thank you," he said. "It's my mother's recipe. It gives you a long life." We sat together and watched the Mercedes burn. Giant flames angled out of the interior. The car roared like an open furnace. Heavy black smoke, dense as dirt, clouded above it. The smell of burning rubber and something worse, the leather interior, something that once was living, made its way into the restaurant. By the time we heard sirens, the fire had blackened the car's exterior, and whatever was feeding it from inside was gone. The flames shortened. Then the gas tank exploded and the fire roared again. I pushed away the egg foo young. "Long life it would give me," said Mr. Chang. I'd lost my appetite. Chapter 2. 3 fire trucks and a squad car crowded the curb in front of the Samuelson's condo. A couple of firefighters sprayed foam on the burning car. The hot metal smoked and steamed. A young, uniformed cop with a notepad talked to Eric Stone on the sidewalk. The October air was cold, and Stone was still in his tennis whites, but he looked like he was sweating. I waited until the cop left him, and then I wandered across the street. Stone pulled out a cell phone, punched some buttons, and yelled into it. Up close, he still looked like a pirate, but I added 5 years to the young 50s I'd estimated from a distance. He was driving hard at 60, but he was 60 years of muscle. I was 43 years old, 6'1", and just under 200 pounds, but I didn't want to bounce my muscles off of his. I stepped next to him, and we watched the firefighters deal with the remains of his car. It looked like a burned carcass, a large grazing animal. A buffalo, maybe a small elephant. Bury it in a pit with hot coals for a week. Buy buns, invite the neighbors. Stone didn't seem to notice me. "I used to be a cop," I said. He glanced at me like I was an innocent nuisance. "That's so." He looked back at the car. "Yeah, got fired. I plowed my cruiser into a newsstand at 3 in the morning. I was drunk. I did that back then, so something had to give. No one was hurt in my car, and like yours, didn't burn. But magazines and newspapers filled the air like a blizzard." He glanced at me again, barely tolerating me. "Do you mind?" "Sorry," I said. I nodded at his car. "Tough luck." He nodded once, apology accepted. "I'll tell you a story, though," I said, and he grimaced. "I knew this guy in the department. Look," he said, "I'm sure you're a fine guy, but my car burned, and there's nothing you're going to tell me that'll make me want to talk with you."